Big task. What up in the chat, man? Point. Easy work, bro. I was telling my friend. My friend is a Laker fan. He was like, please beat the Pelicans tonight. And I texted him this morning, and I said, light work. It's light work. The way the New York Knicks are playing right now is simply incredible, and it's unbelievable. They've won 5 straight games. They're 8-2 in their last 10 games. They're a half game back of the fifth seed, and 2.5 games back of the fourth seed. Things are looking up in Madison Square Garden. Knicks are playing really well. They've turned around their season for sure, and it's honestly incredible. It's a pretty sight to see, honestly. 5 straight wins for the New York Knicks. Everything was clicking tonight. RJ Barrett with a bounce back game tonight, and we knew that was coming. Now, from yesterday's game, RJ Barrett, baby steps. He proved yesterday, probably took the All-Star break and reset his mind. It was in the gym probably the whole time during the All-Star break. But RJ Barrett last night was playing okay. And tonight, RJ Barrett showed you that he still has it in him. And don't doubt him, because RJ Barrett played really well tonight. And he had 25 points tonight, along with a season-high 7 assists. So, RJ Barrett was distributing the rock tonight as well. And, of course, Julius Randle in the first quarter set the tone for the New York Knicks. He couldn't miss at all. Jalen Brunson was doing his thing as well. Mitchell Robinson continues to be a beast on the offensive rebounding and defense rebounding in general. He's just a beast. And good to have Mitchell back. RJ Barrett, efficient night for RJ Barrett too. That's very important. 8 of 13 from the field, 4 of 7 from 3, 25 points plus 23, 7 assists, 4 rebounds. This is the version of the RJ Barrett that we have been missing desperately. And I'm telling you, if RJ Barrett can play like this, not like tonight, but if he can play like 80% of what he did tonight, the Knicks are going to be a hard out in the playoffs. I'm telling you. They're going to be a hard out. Let me just tweet that we're live. Get some more people in here. Yeah, here we go. Corey in the chat, RJ is still underrated by most of the league. Yeah, and don't forget that he's only 22 years old, so he's going to have his, down games. He's going to have his down stretches. And I just honestly think that he's just trying to find his groove in the starting lineup. Most of the game, he does play with the bench unit. So Thibodeau has realized that he plays better with the bench unit. Emmanuel Quickly, Josh Hart, and all of them. But, RJ Barrett tonight played well with the bench unit and well with the starters. So, Corey, yes, RJ Barrett is still underrated, still super young, but a lot of people equate his contract to his play, and they want to see him just continue to play well and have games like this. There shouldn't be any reason why he can't have games like this consistently. And he has throughout the season. He's averaging like 20 points a game. So, this stretch from RJ Barrett was rough, but we knew he was going to come out of it eventually. All right. Tweeted on my Knicks Nation that we're live, and then we can just talk about, the Knicks and their winning ways, man. It's really impressive. All right. So, standings let me just look at the NBA standings really quick. I know the Miami Heat lost tonight. Shout out to the Hornets for beating the Miami Heat. Yeah, they haven't updated. I don't know why NBA.com and ESPN hasn't updated the standings, but I think the Knicks are 35-27. Yeah, let's talk about tonight's game, right? Randle set the tone in the first quarter. From last night, 46 points, to tonight, 28 points. Julius Randle was simply dominant again. He's playing at an all-star level, superstar status. It's really refreshing to see Randle play like this, honestly. Plus 26, 28 points. 11 and 20 from the field, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. Mitchell Robinson, back-to-back games Mitchell Robinson has played. And it's, really refreshing to see him back on the court for the Knicks. The Knicks have missed his defensive presence. 13 boards for Big Mitch. Double-double for Mitchell Robinson. 11 points, 13 rebounds in only 28 minutes. So that's very important as well. RJ Barrett was the main factor in tonight's game, in my opinion. Big bounce back game for RJ Barrett, 25 points to go along with 7 assists, and that's huge. He was dishing a rock. I believe his career high in assists is 9. So RJ Barrett, great game out of him. 7 assists tonight. And then obviously you had Grimes do his thing. Want to see Grimes work on his efficiency more though. But 3 of 7 tonight from behind the arc. 9 points. Obi Toppin, 15 minutes. Hardenstein, again, 10 rebounds. Continues to dominate on the rebounding front. 5 defensive rebounds, 5 offensive rebounds for Isaiah Hardenstein. Josh Hart, 15 points off the bench to go along with 26 minutes, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. Emmanuel Quickley just keeps on grinding. Emmanuel Quickley should be considered to be a 6th man of the year, in my opinion, and he's playing like it. I mean, the way he's been playing consistently for the New York Knicks, knocking down his threes at a consistent rate. That was the always knock on Emmanuel Quickley, is that he didn't knock down his threes consistently. This season, he is definitely knocking down his threes, that's for sure. Emmanuel Quickley, shout out to him. He's been, the X factor coming off the bench for the New York Knicks, and defensively and offensively, IQ just keeps on playing really well, and it's really impressive to watch him grow as a New York Knick, and I'm just happy he's on this team. We could squash all those first-round pick rumors that came about in the first half of the season that the Knicks brass wanted to trade him for a first-round pick, but we can squash all of those rumors for now. Big task. RJ might be hearing the rumblings of Bridges from Brooklyn. I think RJ is yes, these guys are on Twitter and they hear the rumblings, but one, I don't see Brooklyn trading Mikal Bridges to the New York Knicks. I don't see them doing that at all. 2, I don't see, Brooklyn wanting just Barrett. If the Knicks want Mikal Bridges, they're going to have to give up a whole lot more than just RJ Barrett. But, I'm sure RJ Barrett sees the hate on Twitter, sees the negativity, but we also have to, send him some positivity as well. He's still super young, and, everything is about mental health nowadays. So you don't know what somebody is going through. And RJ Barrett, it's just nice to see him back-to-back games that he's starting to get in the groove here, and hopefully he can build on this, and hopefully he can, continue to play like this, because this is the version of the RJ Barrett that we missed, honestly. And we honestly haven't seen 7 assists RJ Barrett. He unlocked a new level. I mean, if he's gonna dish the rock 7 times a game, sign me the heck up. That just creates opportunities for everyone else. And it just makes the opponent even have to second guess even more, because you have literally RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson that can put the ball in the basket, and you surround them with shooters. 7 assists tonight for RJ Barrett. He was driving in the lane and he's making good decisions, which is really important as well. Barrett was making great decisions tonight, and we love to see that growth. We love to see that growth from RJ Barrett. So, yeah, man. Big bounce back game out of RJ Barrett, and shout out to him. He definitely needed it. He definitely needed it as well. So let me see if these standings updated really quick. Yep. So the Knicks are right now, they're 35-27. They're a half a game behind the Brooklyn Nets for the 5th spot. And I believe we have Brooklyn coming up. So that game is really huge. And the Heat are on a 4-game losing streak. And the Knicks are on a 5-game winning streak, excuse me. So the Knicks have sort of separated themselves here from the Miami Heat. They're 2.5 games up from Miami, and they're only 2.5 games back of Cleveland. It's getting really interesting here. There's 20 games left. I believe the Knicks have 20 games left, and I believe we have Boston next year. We do have Boston next, so that's going to be a tough game. But the way the Knicks are playing, Knicks beat Boston a few weeks ago in Boston. So, I mean, guys, 8-2 in their last 10 games. Protecting home court, playing really well. Julius Randle's balling. Jalen Brunson's balling. We see RJ Barrett, these last couple of games out of the All-Star break start to look like RJ Barrett. Mitchell Robinson is back, holding down the fort defensively. Josh Hart, the acquisition of Josh Hart, the trading deadline, him coming off the bench with Emmanuel Quickley continuing to play well. Things are looking really well for the New York Knicks, man. It's exciting times to be a New York Knicks fan. It honestly is. And, you know, we just relish these times because, you know, as we all know throughout the season, things can take a 180 really quick, but we just need to relish these times. It was nice to see Derrick Rose get some chance, right? In the fourth quarter. It was like a blowout, and then Madison Square Garden was chanting Derrick Rose's name. Derrick Rose, Derrick Rose, Derrick Rose, and then Thibs put him in the game, and then Rose comes in. He tries to attempt some threes, but, you know, it's just nice to see. Rose doesn't want to buy out. He wants to stay in Nick. He wants to be in Nick, and he's chilling right now. He said that this is his home right now. I don't see the Knicks buying Derrick Rose out, but it was nice to see him on the court tonight, and you know, I'm sure his fans, all the fans across, Derrick Rose has a lot of fans, and I'm sure everyone relished in that moment. And you know, big win out of the New York Knicks, man. But let's just go through the team stats really quick. Pelicans look like they stayed out late last night in New York City, for sure, because they were just uninterested this whole game. Pelicans shot 39% from the field, 102. They shot 21% from three-point land. Knicks shot 39%. Rebounding, once again, the New York Knicks are a dominant rebounding team. They out-rebounded the Pelicans, 54-39. Defensive rebounds, the Knicks had 43 compared to the Pelicans, 26. Knicks had 24 assists, 7 blocks. The Pelicans didn't have 1 block the whole game. A lot of turnovers for the Knicks. That's uncharacteristic of the New York Knicks. 19 turnovers for the Knicks. They'll clean that up, though. They're one of the best teams in the NBA in terms of turning the ball over. So I'm cool with that. Fast break points, 13 points in the paint, 44. Just all around great game from start to finish. The Knicks didn't give up the lead. The Pelicans did not have a lead in this game at all. The Knicks led by as much as 32 points. Big task, man. The Pelicans are a joke like their name. Yeah, the Pelicans, what's funny thing about the Pelicans is they were number 1 in the West for like a short period of time when Zion was healthy, but then Zion just can't stay on the court, and they're 10-21 away from their home court, and the Knicks took advantage. And the Pelicans had a day off yesterday, and the Knicks played a tough game in Washington. You know, when the Knicks fell back by as much as 19, and for them to come to Madison Square Garden on a back-to-back and just simply demolish the New Orleans Pelicans, it's amazing to see. This team, you know, deals with adversity, and this team overcomes. You know, no matter how you look at it, back-to-backs are tough in this league, tough in this NBA, and the Knicks just, you know, won both of their back-to-backs and against pretty tough opponents too. Pelicans are 30-31. Wizards are, you know, okay. I'm not saying these are 2 elite teams, but you take these wins. You take these wins on your schedule. Yeah. Let's go back to RJ Barrett. Great game out of him. And from start to finish, he was just consistently passing the rock, efficient with his shots, efficient with his three-point shots, efficient with his, you know, his play. He just was. And then Josh Hart comes in the game for him and just does what Josh Hart does. The Knicks are undefeated in the Josh Hart era. Ever since the Knicks acquired Josh Hart, they are undefeated, the New York Knicks. So I don't know what Josh Hart brought to this team. Actually, I do. He's a dog. He brought grittiness to the city of New York, and, you know, it's just refreshing to see him coming off the bench and do all the little dirty things, and him and Emmanuel quickly pairing off the bench. That's a pretty good combo in my opinion. So Josh Hart, Knicks are undefeated in his era. Emmanuel quickly continues to be consistent. And, you know, Pelicans made their run there in the third quarter, but that was, you know, teams are going to do that. When a team goes up by as much as 32 points, the opponent is going to make a run eventually. But, you know, the Knicks weathered the storm. They called a timeout. Julius Randle hit a bucket out at the end of the timeout, and that's pretty much all she wrote, man. I mean, great game all around. I mean, there's no complaints, honestly. This from top to bottom. The Knicks dropped 42 points in the first quarter, 31 in the second. They had 73 points at halftime, and it was cool because they were celebrating their 73th anniversary when they won the championship in 1973. So it was pretty cool to see that. But yeah, great game, bro. Excuse me, I'm just going down the Twitter timeline right now, checking what everyone's seeing on the Twitterverse. Yeah, a lot of Derrick Rose talk. People love to see Derrick Rose happy, and it's nice to see him get in the game and get some burning. Derrick Rose is forever a legend. That's for sure. So 35-27. The Knicks are 2 games over 500 now. 17-15 at home. They are rolling. 8-2 in their last 10 games. Next game is on Monday, I believe. Yeah, Monday versus the Boston Celtics. It's going to be a tough game, but the way this Knicks team is playing, I'll put them up against anybody. Honestly, I'll put them up against anybody. Let me just go back to the standings. 8-2 in their last 10. 5-8 in the division, 24-16 in the conference. Right now, the New York Knicks are one of the best defensive rebounding teams in the league, as well as offensive rebounding teams in the league. They're just dominant, and with the return of Mitchell Robinson, they just keep on rolling. So right now, in front of the New York Knicks, you have Brooklyn, Cleveland, Philly, Milwaukee, Boston. So the New York Knicks won. Brooklyn lost last night. Cavs are on a 3-game losing streak. Heat are on a 4-game losing streak. And the Knicks, I believe, have 3 games left against the Miami Heat, which are very crucial. So, and those are always tough matchups, especially going down to Miami. I'm sure the Knicks fans will travel really well down there, so not too concerned about that. But, yeah, man, let's just look at their upcoming schedule here. So, in their last 5 games, they picked up victories against the Utah Jazz, Brooklyn Nets, Atlanta Hawks, Washington Wizards, New Orleans Pelicans. And now they have Boston coming up, and then they have Brooklyn. So 2 divisional games coming up. So tough games, but, we should be able to split that at least. If you can grab the Boston win, great. But you need to beat Brooklyn. You're half a game behind Brooklyn right now. So that's a big game. And then you're in Miami this coming Friday. That's a big game as well. And then you're at Boston. So these 4 games are really, in terms of standings, huge. Then you're versus Charlotte, at Sacramento, and then you have a little West Coast trip at the Clippers, at the Lakers, at Portland, and then on and on from there. But, it starts with this 4-game stretch. You have 3 out of your next 4 games are against division opponents, and 2 against Boston, 1 against Brooklyn. The game against Brooklyn is huge. You got to win that game because Brooklyn right now is a half game up. I do think the Brooklyn Nets, I honestly do think the Knicks will wind up getting that 5th spot. And I do think the Brooklyn Nets are starting to, not free fall, but they're starting to come back to earth a little bit. The Chicago Bulls blew them out yesterday, but this game against Brooklyn on Wednesday is really huge for the New York Knicks. If they can win that, I believe they own the tiebreaker, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, we played 2 against, I'm just going back to see. I think we played 2 games against Brooklyn. No, it'll be tied. Brooklyn beat us twice already. Yeah, Brooklyn beat us twice already, so the series will be 2-2. So either or. Game is big. In Brooklyn, in Madison Square Garden, on Wednesday after the Boston game on Monday. So Boston, Brooklyn, Miami, gotta beat these teams. Gotta beat these teams for sure. Just going down the timeline. Appreciate you guys in the chat as always. If you haven't done so already, like the video, subscribe to the channel at Knicks Nation. Really appreciate you guys. RJ Barrett tonight, 25 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds. Efficient night, plus 23. Great to see him bounce back as always. Emmanuel Quickly, keep preaching about Emmanuel Quickly's play this season because he simply has been one of the Knicks' best players this season for the New York Knicks. Right behind Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson, you have Emmanuel Quickly right there. He's been nothing short of amazing for the Knicks, and it's just, honestly refreshing to see him coming off the bench now with Josh Hart providing offense and defense. So Emmanuel Quickly has been balling out. Then you have Josh Hart coming off the bench. Things are looking great, guys. I mean, I'm starting to get, do we touch the 4th seed? Do you guys think we touch the 4th seed? Do you think we can overtake the Cleveland Cavaliers? We've beaten them twice this year. 2.5 games behind Cleveland. Do you think we can overtake the Cleveland Cavaliers? I don't know, but anything can happen. 2.5 games is not a lot of games at all. So, but anything can happen. But right now we have to worry about Brooklyn because we're starting to create some separation from Miami right now. And the Miami is number 7. They're in the play-in tournament. We're starting to create some separation. Miami's starting to lose. 4-game losing streak for the Miami Heat. So we're starting to create some separation from them. And then just worry about Brooklyn, and then we worry about Cleveland when we get there. But all in all, the New York Knicks are back. They're playing at a very high level. They have all-stars in Randall, Brunson, the bench unit. The bench mob is back. Is the bench mob back? Is the bench mob back? Josh Hart, Emmanuel Quickly, Isaiah Hartenstein. Give some props to Isaiah Hartenstein, who's been playing his ass off these last few weeks, grabbing these rebounds, grabbing these offensive rebounds. Hartenstein has been a big key to this success that the New York Knicks have had. So give some props from Hartenstein. Give some props to Tom Thibodeau as well. He's made some adjustments. He's held some heat this season from Knicks fans, from me. And Tom Thibodeau has made the adjustments. The Knicks are playing really well. I don't know. Sky's the limit. Kendrick Perkins came on. I was listening to ESPN New York early on in the week, and they asked Kendrick Perkins, what do you think the ceiling is for the New York Knicks? And he said the conference finals. Kendrick Perkins said the conference finals. He thinks the New York Knicks ceiling, he's not saying they'll get there. He thinks the New York Knicks ceiling is the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, when he first said that, I was like, come on, Kendrick. Come on, Perk. You've been giving the Knicks props all year. That's just a little bit too extreme. But then I honestly replayed it, and he was like, look, I'm not predicting it. I'm just saying that's their ceiling right now. Let's say the Knicks go into a playoff series versus Brooklyn or in the first round, and they beat Brooklyn, and then we have, the Cavs. And then, I'm just saying anything can happen. But Perkins said the Knicks ceiling is the Eastern Conference Finals. So just a little nugget to throw out there. Big task, bro. I'm banned from all the Pelicans channels. What are you doing in the Pelicans channels that you're banned? What are you saying to the New Orleans Pelicans fans? I want to know what you're saying to the Pelicans fans that they're banning you. Are you talking reckless? Are you going in the Pelicans chats just honestly talking reckless? Because that's hilarious. Yeah, Pelicans are dealing with some of their own issues, but, happy that our New York Knicks blew them the heck out. It's always nice to get a blowout in Madison Square Garden. And Friday night Knicks win a great game against the Wizards, and then they come out tonight and beat the Pelicans, they're not a slouch. Pelicans are a good team, we take these wins, man. We take these wins. We play who was on the schedule. We take these wins. But yeah, Big Task, I would like to know, what are you saying to these Pelicans fans that they are banning you? Come on, bro. You got to be nice to them. You got to be nice to these fans. Hold on. Scouring the Twitter timeline. A lot of I can't even talk, positivity from the timeline. And it's well deserved. All you're doing is talking Nick-ish, no disrespect. Hey, I feel you, man. There were teams. I remember the Dallas game, the OKC game early on in the season when they were, I had fans coming in. The Laker game, I had Laker fans coming in the chat talking, their smack. And hey, you could talk your ish, but you got to be respectful. Just be respectful in the chat, no disrespect. I'll let you talk your ish. But I remember the games against early on in the season. Remember we got washed by Dallas. We got washed by OKC. I had all their little fanboys coming in the chat and just talking their head off. And I could take it, but as long as you're respectful, it's all fair game from there. But yeah, just be respectful, and good things will happen. As long as you're respectful. That thing I don't like is the people that are not respectful and they get a little out of hand, and then you gotta ban them, then you gotta block them, and then so it's a whole big thing. But but that's funny, man. That's hilarious. But yeah, man, New York Knicks are back. Like Amari Stoudemire said when the New York Knicks signed him to a $100 million contract, the Knicks are back. The New York Knicks are back. It's incredible to see. It's incredible to witness. The vibes are immaculate in Madison Square Garden, in the city. The Knicks are 8 games over 500. I don't believe they've been 8 games over 500 this season. I think this is their first time with 8 games over 500. They have one more win against Brooklyn. They have one more win than Brooklyn. Brooklyn has only played. The Knicks have played 3 more games than Brooklyn. So, Brooklyn has to make up those games, but Knicks have played 3 more games, and the Knicks only have 20 games left. There's only 20 games left of the 2022-23 NBA season, which is absurd. Sooner or later, we're going to start talk about playoff matchups and who do you guys want to see? Who do you guys want the Knicks to match up with? Who do you guys think the Knicks can beat in a first round playoff series? I can't wait. Exciting times are upon us, and I just am excited for it. I'm excited for it all. I'm excited for the young guys flourishing. I'm excited that RJ Barrett had a bounce back game tonight, dropping 25 and 7. I'm really excited that Julius Randle has been, absolutely playing out of his mind this season. Brunson, Josh Hart. Obi Toppin seems like the odd man out here, but I'm not concerned about it. We know what he's bringing. He could shoot. He's bringing energy off the bench. Still don't think the Knicks are using Obi Toppin well. I do think they should be using more of him in pick and roll situations, but that's another subject for another day. But, I'm just excited. Isaiah Hartenstein, Mitchell Robinson. Isaiah Hartenstein was, not playing well 2 months ago. He wasn't playing well at all. And Isaiah Hartenstein has hit a 180, and he's grabbing every offensive rebound and every defensive rebound off the bench. And how about that 1-2 punch with Isaiah Hartenstein and Mitchell Robinson? That teams are looking at that matchup like that's a tough matchup. You're starting with Mitchell Robinson, and then you're bringing in Isaiah Hartenstein off the bench. And then if one of them goes down, you have Jericho Sims, who has shown us that he has stepped up, and he can step up and fill the void of whoever gets hurt. But it's just really exciting times right now in Madison Square Garden in New York City to be a Knicks fan, and we're just excited to see who the Knicks match up with, because playoffs are around the corner. They are, whether you like it or not. There's 20 games left. Playoffs are around the corner, and I really want the Knicks to get that 4th seed. What can we do to get? Let me pull up Cleveland's schedule, because they've been. I want to see. Cleveland released Kevin Love, so they're on a 3-game losing streak. They face They have Toronto, Boston, Detroit, Boston, then a back-to-back at Miami, then a back-to-back at Charlotte. What the heck? The Cavs have 3 back-to-backs left against 3 different teams in the span of 2 nights with those 3 teams. That's weird. But 4 back-to-back. This schedule for I'm looking at the Cleveland Cavaliers schedule right now because I'm trying to get the Knicks in the 4th seed, and the Cavs, get this, the Cavs play Miami twice back-to-back. They play Charlotte after that twice back-to-back. Then they play Brooklyn after that back-to-back, and then they go to Orlando and play it back-to-back against them. Weird schedule for the Cleveland Cavaliers, but this schedule isn't as daunting. But the New York Knicks do have 1 more game left versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. Friday, March 31st. I don't know why I say forced. Friday, March 31st versus the New York Knicks in Cleveland. That game could be big. I'm just saying. Let's say the Knicks go into that game a half game behind Cleveland. You think TNT or ESPN is flexing that game? Have to. That game is huge, man. I didn't know we had one more game left versus the Cavs. So all of a sudden that changes a lot, man. I'm sure, I'm trying to get that 4th seed. And that game, I'm circling on my calendar if I'm a New York Knicks. Big Taz fast. I want the Cavs so bad. They are scared of the Knicks. LOL, I can smell their fear. Like, oh, wolf. Yeah, I mean, hey, we've beaten the Cavs 2 times this year. That's all I'm going to say. But Donovan Mitchell was still a beast. And we saw what he did the first matchup versus the New York Knicks when he just went bananas. And you could tell he wanted to be a New York Knick. And that was when I believe he hit like 8 3-pointers that game. And that was when Kevin Love couldn't miss that game either. But, yeah. Cavs. So the Cleveland Cavaliers the Knicks have a tougher schedule than the Cleveland Cavaliers. I just looked at their schedule. It's not daunting at all, which stinks. But we're still 2.5 games back of Cleveland. And March 31st at Cleveland. That game could be huge. I'm watching that game. That game for the New York Knicks and Cleveland Cavaliers could be huge. Because hypothetically, let's just say the Knicks go into Cleveland with behind them a half a game. Hypothetically, right? Then the last 5 games of the season, at Washington, at Indiana, 4 games, at New Orleans versus Indiana. Not hard for the Knicks, so it's doable. It's very doable. So we shall see, but Knicks are rolling. 35-27, back-to-back wins, back-to-back great wins. Julius Randle is just playing out of his mind. The bench unit continues to shine. RJ Barrett balling out. Good to see RJ Barrett have a bounce-back game. Bounce-back second half because yesterday's game was okay. Even though he didn't play the 4th quarter, I still think RJ Barrett showed us, and I even said yesterday in the postgame, I still think RJ Barrett showed us little baby steps from the game versus Washington, but the Knicks are rolling. Knicks are back, and it's just honestly refreshing to watch, refreshing to see. Good blowout win in Madison Square Garden. Protecting home court is very, very vital. You have Boston coming up, then you have a big game against the Brooklyn Nets coming up, then you have a big game against Miami. So the grind doesn't stop. These games coming up are still huge for the New York Knicks. Keep stacking up these wins. Keep climbing up in the standings, and sky's the limit for this team. Honestly, if Randall and Brunson can play like this and Barrett can continue to build off of this, and we have the bench unit quickly, Hartenstein, Obi doing his thing. It's just honestly amazing. So going to go ahead and end this post game. Appreciate you guys in the chat as always. Big Task and Corey in the chat. Like the video if you can. Subscribe to the channel. We will be back on Monday at versus Boston. So we'll see. We have a day off, and I should be recording a podcast tomorrow, recapping this week. But as always, I'm Anthony from Knicks Nation. See you guys on Monday. Have a good night. And as always, it's Let's Go Knicks. Peace.